So it's first down at the 43 of Carolina. Rush will hand the ball to Dowdle, coming right, looking for a seam, found one around the right end, across the 30 and ushered out of bounds.
I mean, you guys see that nasty cutback from Rico Dowdle, but it's also the explosiveness on the inside, the runs on the outside, the bouncing off of the tackles. I mean, it's literally chef's kiss every time Rico Dowdle touches the ball. He's now in the Dallas Cowboys record books. 3 straight 100-plus rushing yard games to lead also to a win in Week 15. The Cowboys get the win over the Carolina Panthers, and now they're 6-8, eyeing for a spot in the playoffs. Before we get to that, though, I'm Nicole Hutchison, rewinding you back through the entire week. Rico Dowdle's 149 rushing yards was a new career high set by him in Week 15. The proof's in the pudding. You give him 20 carries or more a game, he gives you 100-plus rushing yards, and it's something he knew would come in due time.
Like I said, it was all about the rhythm, and I've been firm on that since the beginning about the rhythm, getting the attempts, and I think we always could have did it, but, you know, timing right now, and it's working right now for us, so I'm not worried about early in the season.
Rico, individually, have you ever had more fun running the football than these last 3 games?
Probably not, honestly. I mean, maybe high school. Had some pretty good games in high school, like back-to-back. A lot of touchdowns. I mean, that's the only thing I'm missing right now, but this is definitely a great time right now. These past 3 weeks, those guys have opened it up, and it's been 3 good weeks in a row.
Well, Rico Dowdle said it himself. The rushing numbers are there, but the touchdown numbers aren't. 3 receiving for Rico, but just 1 rushing. And in the contract year, that could or could not make or break the expensive price tag on Rico Dowdle soon to come. That became a hot topic on the Players Lounge.
Look, I'm not on the bandwagon, all right, completely. I'm just saying these last couple of games, Rico Dowdle has showed you enough patience, and he is running that thing downhill. This offensive line is giving him a 2-way go, and I love the way that they look. I mean, they look like the continuity. They are gelling, running back to offensive line, and Barry Church talked about it. How do you get a guy in a rhythm if you're always pulling him? You've given 2 plays, and you're starting to see when a guy's able to get into a rhythm. 25-149, that's not bad
at all.
The problem that I have with Rico Dowdle is that he only has 1 touchdown on the season. Yeah. I mean, you're having all this success, and I think as we've looked down the line at other running backs that have had success, it's the multiple touchdowns that also adds to it. That one really is kind of like, Is okay? Is a good year? Is a bad year? Where does he fall in that? He only has 1 touchdown.
He got some of those vultured away though a little bit, right? Didn't Zeke come in there early on and take a couple of those lip keys?
When he gets out, you know this, Church.
Oh, I know what they're gonna say.
It's a free agent.
Let me compare you over here.
Wait a minute. I go to the book of integrity.
Analytically,
it hurt.
You know what's going to happen. It happens to all of them.
He's going to get a contract offer in the offseason from several, he'll have offers. He's a free agent. He'll have offers. But you're going to look, right there, you're going to look at the touchdown numbers and something, hey.
When it starts with hey, it's over.
We'll do this. We'll incentivize over here.
Yes, sir.
But, it's not like basically, he's not getting a Josh Jacobs contract like he got, when we went from the Raiders to Green Bay. No. But there's going to be an offer, but not having the touchdowns, it's like being a corner out there, a DB out there without the interceptions behind you.
Well, the touchdowns might not be there because the opportunities came late in the season. We do have to think about that. The last 3 weeks, though, Rico's ranked first amongst running backs in rushing yards, yards after catch, rushes of 10-plus yards, and missed tackles forced, and second in rushes for first down. So the numbers don't lie, and it's something that'll make the front office really have to think this offseason. So many questions surrounding big-name players this offseason, like Micah Parsons as well on the other side of the ball. Will Micah Parsons remain in Dallas or be a free agent and leave and go elsewhere? We'll find out after the break.
Cowboys Rewind is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by SWBC Mortgage, customized solutions to help you meet your personal and business goals. Visit swbc.com. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
He did not in any way say that Micah Parsons was at issue looking ahead at the future at all. He did not say that. And by the way, I didn't hear what he said, or I have not read what he said, but I know he didn't say that, because that's never been uttered in this organization, that we don't have a future with Micah Parsons.
Well, there you have it. The head man in charge, Jerry Jones, silencing all the noise surrounding Micah Parsons' future in Dallas. Well, misconceptions, as I'd like to say. In the December league meeting, Stephen Jones met with NFL Network's Ian Rappaport about the effects that signing big money, high profile, or top of position players has on the rest of the Cowboys roster. Of course, meeting Micah Parsons, whose rookie contract will end at the end of the season. It was a headline that was taken out of context by many, but a reality the Cowboys have to face soon, which created more talk about it this week. Here's the Girls Talk, Boys Talk crew weighing in.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But you see what the product was in October before Micah came back in early November.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, per PFF, since Micah Parsons returned to the Cowboys in Week 10, the team has 22 sacks, first in the league, 131 pressures, first in the league, and a 54% pass rush rate. That's second in the league. It's kind of undeniable. Just kind of how, but also too, it goes back to Zimmer. It goes back to Zimmer knowing what his guys do well, and it takes me back to hearing Micah Parsons pre the season starting, talking about he and Mike Zimmer having breakfast together and talking and things like that. The way he's moving him around, and sometimes my favorite thing about Zimmer is that if he sees that a side of your offensive line is weak, he's like, "Hey, everybody over there, we're going to wear you out over here. You decide to come in here, you're not going to chip. You don't have enough manpower. We're going to go at you." He's like really deploying Micah, and everyone else as well. So it's really a no-brainer. I don't understand why people just take certain players for granted. I mean, this is a special type of talent that we're getting to see on this field with Micah Parsons. So then what do y'all make of the talks when they keep coming up about Micah Parsons and, just the conversations of him possibly not remaining in Dallas? What do y'all make of it?
He's clickbait.
That's fair. Oh, let her get cooked. Yep. Cook, Christy.
No. I mean that's part of it.
Yeah.
And the financial reality. How do you make that work? How do you have the highest paid defensive player in NFL history? That's what he's going to be. And
the same way that
really. Yeah. It's going to take a lot of finagling, a lot of juggling. To make this work, to structure it where you can actually have 50 other players on the team.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the same way that once he gets paid, the next DN that gets paid is going to have to do it. It got to happen. You got to figure it out. Like, this is just how the market works. This is something that people are paid to prepare for and understand. So for me, it's just like, figure it out. Like, we cannot be a draft and develop team and not want to invest when the players have developed. This is a guy that was not a linebacker coming out of college. He was a linebacker coming out of college. He was not an edge. He converted in the pros to a DN and has become one of the best, if not the best. Pay him. Stop playing these games. Yeah. It's exhausting. And I understand that there are details in it and there's intricacies in it, but sometimes you see a player and you get it done, because you also have to make sure you set the precedent that when guys earn their shot, that they get their shot and they don't have to go through a whole bunch of extra drama and BS. As far as what people are talking about trading him, sometimes you don't know a good thing until it's gone.
Is that you preaching over here?
Nah, it's just very weird.
Facts.
And I understand that Micah is not everybody's taste. I understand that he does his own thing. He's very free in how he pursues his career and the things he does outside of it. And I know that that's different for some people and it makes some people uncomfortable, but it does not affect how he is on the field.
Quite a lot of conversations that will be had this offseason, but for now, there's still one conversation left in the building, surrounding the building, should I say. There's a lot of ball to be left to play. Let's talk about it up next. We've got our very own Tommy Yarish joining the set to break it all down up next.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back into Cowboys Rewind. Nicole Hutchison alongside our very own DallasCowboys.com beat writer Tommy Yard. It's the first time we're on the set together, and I love this.
Yeah, first time. That's a fantastic introduction. Best one I've ever gotten. So thank you.
Love to hear it. Thank you so much for joining us. But, of course, you see the Cowboys have a big matchup ahead of them. Tampa Bay Buccaneers come to town to AT&T Stadium. Before we break down that matchup, we've got to talk about the playoff scenarios because the Cowboys need a lot of help in order to even see a shot or have a shot at making the playoffs. You have only 3 NFC teams so far that have clinched a playoff spot. That's the Lions, the Eagles, and the Vikings. There's a couple of teams in the hunt. The Cowboys, one of 6 on the bubble. Let's go ahead and take a look at the road to the possible road of the Cowboys to make the playoffs. They have to win out. They have to beat Tampa Bay, they have to beat Philly, they have to beat Washington. Then, of course, another way for the Cowboys to make the playoffs is if Washington just completely collapse. Then, of course, you see Atlanta must win out and win NFC South with a 10-7 record. And then one NFC West team has to finish better than 9-8. But I think overall, the best case scenario is for the Dallas Cowboys to just handle their own business, get the job done on Sunday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But from what you've seen so far, Tommy, what confidence level do you have in this team going into Sunday?
Well, I'm not sure how confident I am, and I don't think it's necessarily because of the Cowboys entirely. I think that they've just got a really tough 3-game slate ahead of them. All 3 of these teams are currently in the playoff picture. You've got Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, and Washington to close out the season. And you look at Sunday night, and really the last 3 games of the season, Nicole, Dallas has put themselves in a situation that no team, regardless of level, wants to be in when it comes to a playoff spot because they can't handle their own destiny. They have to win out, but they need some help around them to make it happen. And when you're playing 3 playoff teams, Dallas has only won 2 games against teams that are currently in the playoff picture this season. That's not going to cut it. And when you're not setting your own destiny, it certainly doesn't make things any better. And Sunday night, a Tampa Bay team that I think presents a lot of mismatches against Dallas, it's going to be hard to win that one. And then even if you do win it, all right, you've got to go up and play arguably the best team in the NFC in the Eagles 1 week after on the road in Philadelphia after they beat you by double digits at home just a couple of weeks ago. And then you close out the season with Washington, too, and you never know what you're going to get with that team. They won a thriller the first time around, but not the best spot for the Cowboys to be in, and I'm not so sure that that playoff scenario is going to come true for Dallas.
I love how you mentioned the mismatches. You talk about this Tampa Bay high-flying offense. I mean, they just saw one a couple of weeks ago in the Cincinnati Bengals, Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. I think that's his name, right, who leads the NFL in passing yards. But they have Baker Mayfield for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, quarterback who has the 4th most passing yards in the NFL right now. He's got a lot of weapons as well, and Mike Evans and a couple of other guys, Jalen McMillan as well. How do you slow those guys down?
Well, it's really hard, to be quite frank with you. I mean, Baker Mayfield has resurrected his career in Tampa Bay. The talent's always been there, but the scheme hasn't been right, or the fit hasn't been right, or the guys around him hasn't been right. He's finally found his home, and Tampa Bay's reaping the benefits of it. I think part of the biggest thing of it is really, and this is not an insult by any means, but it's a simple offense. They do a lot of everything within 10 air yards, so it's a really easy quarterback-friendly system that Baker Mayfield's been able to thrive in. We saw him do a little bit of that during his time at Oklahoma, and that's why he won a Heisman Trophy. Now, when you translate to the NFL level, you've got Mr. Consistent in Mike Evans, who's creeping up on 11 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons. Cade Otton has been a fantastic security blanket at the tight end spot. And then the rookie Bucky Irving out of the backfield has been borderline impossible to bring down sometimes. That mixture of size and speed has been so good for this Tampa Bay offense. And, matchup-wise, Dallas's defense, one of the worst when it comes to offenses when they go within 10 air yards. They're giving up the most yards per play in the NFL against offenses when they go less than 10 yards through the air. So that's Baker Mayfield's bread and butter, and it's going to present a tough challenge for Dallas on Sunday.
Well, the Cowboys' bread and butter actually has been their defense, and they're certainly going to have a task in stopping the run. They've improved over the last couple of weeks, but Bucky Irving, man, over 650 yards have been yards after catch out of his 852. That's a stat that's actually insane. All right, well, this defense is definitely going to be fueling this offense. We'll see if they can carry it over into Sunday. Thank you so much, Tommy. We'll see you hopefully back here on Cowboys Rewind some more, but we'll be back here right after the break.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today. And to watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV.
Baker Mayfield's kicked off the 2024 season playing at an MVP level. Through the first 6 games alone, Mayfield ranked top 10 in passing yards, passing touchdowns, completion percentage, and passer rating weeks 7 through 10, though. The team got a little lost in the sauce, drowning in losses, but Mayfield led the way in them picking up the pieces. And the Bucs are now on a 4-game win streak with Mayfield sitting with the 4th most passing yards in the NFL and top 5 in passing touchdowns, completion percentage, and passing yards per game. And what makes a good quarterback good? The weapons he has around him, but which do you feel he'll use the most against the Dallas Cowboys defense? It was a conversation on Talking Cowboys, and they broke it all down.
Yeah, that's the key for me. I think he's fully confident in the system right now, and I think his ability to move in the pocket has been tremendous. His decision-making has been better probably because of his understanding and his trusting of the system. But he's cooking.
Mm-hmm.
He's cooking, and it doesn't hurt when you have a freaking solid running game and you have Mike Evans. You lost Godwin and you missed his presence, but
and it was tough when he didn't have Mike Evans, of course. But I don't know, man. To me,
as soon as he came back, it was just
you see some of that. You see some better decision making. But to me, I think he's always going to be
gunslinger.
A gunslinger.
That's the fun of watching him.
Oh, 100%. I love seeing that.
Which one are you going to get?
Which one are you going to get? Because they've lost 6 games, guys. I'm not.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
They're not unbeatable.
I get that they're a really great offense. You're talking about top 5 rushing attack in the NFL. Great quarterback. Excellent wide receiver. But when the wide receivers weren't there, Baker Mayfield struggled, even though he had targets in both Bucky Irving and Rachaad White. I just don't think that we can necessarily say this is one of the best teams in the NFL because Baker Mayfield is hit and miss. He will have games where he makes a lot of mistakes. Granted, there are less of those this year than they were in Cleveland or in Los Angeles.
I don't think Baker Mayfield has more than 20 attempts this game.
He had 27
you think they just want to try
week.
to pound and ground the Cowboys defense into
what about the last 4 weeks of this defense stopping the run says that to you? Like, where are you getting this feeling?
It's not Tampa Bay. I mean, you're not. I mean, I'm just being real with you.
Saquon is that's not it for you?
No, because
okay.
Saquon, right? But I'm talking about like
you're right. Saquon is Saquon.
Yeah, Saquon is Saquon.
And we stopped Saquon for the most part.
For the most part,
on the ground.
On the ground.
On the ground.
Yeah, I mean, you pick. Yeah, you pick and choose, right? You pick and choose. But I don't have a vote of confidence that you're going to be able to slow down their running game. That's just me. It's a feeling thing. It's nothing I can really point my finger at right now. It's a feeling thing. It's a combination of the 2 running backs that they have. It's a combination of their offensive line. It's the threat of the receiver going over the top, right? It's all those things. And I think that you'll get a lot of play action. I think you'll get Baker out on the edge. And yes, you'll have your opportunities. He has 5 interceptions over the last 3 weeks. Yeah, you're going to get your shots. Anytime Baker Mayfield's on the field, you have opportunity to get an interception because he is he's a wild card.
Yeah.
And you love him for that, but you hate him for that as well. I just with what they have on the line, I think they're going to play a lot safer game.
The interception opportunities will be there, so I like what Isaiah Stanback had to say about that. He's had 14 on the season. This offensive line has been solid for the most part, but they have allowed 33 sacks this season as well. So it'll be another test for this pass rush, who has certainly started to find their groove over the last couple of weeks with Micah Parsons, Carl Lawson, Chauncey Golston, you name it. All those guys have been playing significantly well. But you talk about the run, stopping the run has improved as well. So it'll be another game for Osa Odighizuwa and Mozzie Smith, possibly considering if he is out with his back injury, and they just signed Justin Rogers as well. So we'll see what works out there. But it'll be another test for this Cowboys defense. We'll see what Mike Zimmer is able to cook up defensively against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, we're going to wrap things up here on Cowboys Rewind. Up next.
Cowboys Rewind was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by SWBC Mortgage, customized solutions to help you meet your personal and business goals. Visit swbc.com.
Welcome back into Cowboys Rewind. Nicole Hutchison here to wrap up the show. But first, we have to break down this matchup just a little bit. It's been a lengthy history between the two teams, the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, since 1977, a very long time. But in recent years, it has started to develop as more of a rivalry, as I like to say. It's the fourth meeting in 4 years, all being in prime time. So it's another national treat you're going to get on Sunday Night Football at 7:20 kickoff. Expected to be a national treat, like I've mentioned, just like in 2021 when it was a shootout that came down to a field goal. But the Cowboys get back in the 2022 season, ending the Buccaneers playoff run. This year, there's going to be some more high playoff implications. You talk about the Cowboys who are fighting for that a little extra percentage of making the playoffs. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, well, they have an 88% chance of making the playoffs, so it's going to be a very good one on Sunday Night Football, 7:20 kick.